in there, put the little screw, put the clips, put the felt, put this back on, and the next side. But what do you want to do gently? Try. Just a little rubber. Well, there she is. There's our passenger side retractable seat belt. And I'll tell you, there is a step-by-step process to get that out, okay? And this is the passenger side, so not much in there. I did discover just a random ground wire sitting in here. Looks like it's just long enough to go somewhere near that. So, looks like that's been sheared off somehow. I'm not sure what that goes to. Maybe that's the, could that be the antenna cable? I don't know. We'll research that a little bit. It goes through that grommet back there and straight back by the ECU. Let me come over here on the driver's side because this is a little bit more involved, and I'll go through the steps that I use to remove the armrest and the speaker and then the actual mechanisms itself. So this, you're looking at it laying down, okay? So it would be mounted on the inside of your window frame up here, okay? There's about 3 or 4 different bolts that hold it on right through these holes here, and they got a slot in it so you can adjust it back and forth if you need be to get your little window strip seal just nice and tidy. All right. As far as this side, because you see I've got the speaker and the armrest off of that side. So remember, we took off the back seat, we took off the back seat rest. And then on this side, you see I've removed the speaker and the armrest. So here's the process. Once your seats are out of there, first thing you're going to want to do is take off this little felt piece right here, this little piece of strip. It's a door seal, okay? And it's going to sit kind of like that. And the way I did it was I just kind of pried along here until I felt where the clips were, and then just kind of lifted it away, and then it doesn't go under anything. It's just right there, okay? So it's just this kind of little S-shaped deal. Once you get that off, you're going to have some clips that look like this. And they are pinching the fabric of the armrest to the seam of the car, okay? And there's 3 of these, and they go kind of in there, and then that felt strip goes around it, or that seal, okay? Next thing you're going to want to do is, you've got the clips off, you're going to want to peel that fabric back just a little bit. There is one tiny little screw, in my case it was black, and it goes right there, okay? And that holds the front of your speaker and your armrest, okay? Once you've done that, come back and remove the 2 bolts that hold your mouse and your channel mechanism to the side. And it goes right there. See, there's a hole there, and there's a hole there. Those T40s. Take off that little screw for the wiring harness, kind of move that away so you can get your Torx in there, and take those off. Once you do that, remember, this has already been pulled up and away. And there's your little piece that goes in that slot right there. Okay, so you've already pulled this up and away. Now you can get to your Torx and everything. It's clamping down on this, okay, this, I don't know, horsehair brush or whatever. Once you do that, your mechanism will kind of fall down away from the door about like this. And it's just right there. All it is this little cable. It's just going to hang there. That's fine. This will come away At that point, you're going to go back there and remove the one Phillips screw, okay, that's pretty much right there if you can see through, okay? And that's holding the back of your armrest. Once you do that, your armrest goes right here over this lip. So basically lift it up, turn it like this, kind of clear the speaker out of this space, and you'll be able to take it right out like that, okay? Next, on the driver's side, you've got your mechanical assembly and the motor, and it mounts with the most ingenious system. One big bolt right here through a threaded hole, and one 7/16 bolt that comes through the back to this nut and two washers. So you have to get a wrench on the back side and hold it, and then you'll be able to wrench off the or socket off your lock bolt there. See, it is a nylock. All right, so here's the Torx bolts. They do have a washer. They go up there, they go through that little plate, and that holds this to the car. And after we put it back together, we'll do it in reverse order. We'll put the speaker assembly back in there, put the little screw, put the clips, put the felt, put this back on, reconnect our channel with those two, and then this, just lift it up and slide it right down in that little slot, and that little plastic nub there, that tab. All right, now on the driver's side, you got a little bit more going on. So this is going to be sitting in there like that. That is the passive restraint control module, okay? Everything. You've also got this one little relay, and that is the seatbelt relay, okay? And that's going to be mounted, where was that? Right there on that little prong, okay? That just kind of slides on there. This, once you get the big bolt and that 7/16 bolt off, this will fall away. You disconnect the two plugs. Okay, this is identical to the other side except for it's the driver's side. So the motor is kind of backwards, all right? The speaker wiring, you'll have to pull off the speaker. I forgot to mention that when you take this off, but there is a speaker fuse here as well as over there. And we'll change that out while we got this apart. But yeah, a little bit more involved. You have 3 connectors here. They go to your seatbelt restraint module. And then it looks like you can take this cover off of this. I don't know what it's going to look like in there, but we might do that just to see what's in there. That's a probably $10,000 part. It is a 12 volt. Hopefully nothing blew up in here and shorted out that caused that motor on the passenger side to go out, but there's that. I did get rich while I was doing this. I found a bunch of quarters and dimes and nickels, but I also found, what is that? What does that say? Something, where a kid can be a kid. Is this Chuck E. Cheese's? It is. 2000 and looks like 5. And apparently Mike worked at the post office, and that's not who I bought the car from, and that's not who was listed on the title or anywhere. So Mike apparently was a passenger in this car at one time, probably in the back seat, and got his postal, that's probably a $25 taxpayer funded name tag. So we'll take that back to the post office and say, hey, is there a reward? Is Mike still looking for his tag? Other than that, yeah, that's where we're at. So in the next little clip here, I'm going to do it on the passenger side because that's the problem side, the real bad problem side. I'm going to start over there. I'm going to start looking at the motor and the coils and the wiring and all of that kind of stuff and the electrical part of it. And then we'll come over here. And once we get all that back together, then we'll lubricate everything appropriately. We'll get in here. Oh, we'll check that. And then we might actually plug up the car after the blower motors are in there. And because everything else is just basically fascia panels and seats and, you know, trim, interior trim. So we'll see if we can get the seat belts working. And if they do, then we'll put everything back together and we'll be done, other than our head covering there. Oh, yeah. So this is what it looks like out of the car. Okay, the passenger side. So let me turn this over so y'all can get a view of it, what it looks like in there. All right, there it is. There's your door frame. There's your little seatbelt connector that would normally go up in the channel. There's where it bolts up to, holding that fascia piece on. This is the switch that you have to remove the screw from. That is the, tells the mouse that it's hit right there. So that's just your little thing saying it's closed or it's down. And then the seatbelt warning light probably goes off. As far as the motor, it looks like it's just like the window motor. Same kind of housing, a couple of bolts, and then some connectors. And then here is our spool. Looks like it's got a pretty simple cover we might be able to get off. So I will set up this camera on a tripod, and we'll start taking that apart and understanding how this whole thing works. Look, I'm playing with seatbelts on a car, okay? I don't know if that's against the regulations or whatever out there. This is a 37-year-old car, and you can't buy these things anymore, so I have to fix the safety device for this car. So if anybody's gonna report me, have them come on over. I'll explain what I'm doing. I'll show them video and what we're gonna do here. If I can't fix it, then these are coming off. We'll put them in a box, and we'll put something else. We'll put just some side harnesses on there, or some race harnesses on the seat or something. I don't know. Hell, we already got a sporty steering wheel, right? All right, so there you go. There's a little bit of advice for that. That's what I did to get this off. I get the speakers and armrest seats and everything, and to get this out of there. We're going to test that relay over there, and then like I said, I'll get a table set up and I'll get you up on a tripod, and we'll start disassembling this and see what the hell went on, because I think we've got just a basically a cable in there that might have got kinked or something. So if that's the case, might be an easy fix. Knock on wood. Stand by and we'll be back with you in a little while. All right, welcome back. I've got the passenger side automatic seatbelt mechanism laid down on the table. I've got my screwdriver here, and up over there outside of the frame, but if you follow this around, that would be the door channel for the little retractable deal that's over there. So what we're gonna do is, I see there's some electrical tape around here, and I wanna do this on camera so I have video log of what happened when I took the cover off. So we're gonna attempt to take this apart. I'm gonna sit right here with you guys, and I haven't seen this done before, so let's see what we find inside this. It looks like here and here are two Phillips screws. So I'm gonna get the appropriate size Phillips tip. Actually, let's use this one here. And we'll take this off right here. It looks like that's just some marking paint or something. I'm gonna put my hand on top of it, so sorry if I'm blocking your view. All I'm doing is taking off a screw. It doesn't look like it's under spring pressure on this side. All right, we'll go ahead and put that there. And then on this side, we've got another one. And this screw looks like it's been, well, maybe, I don't know. Maybe they didn't use the right size Phillips on it or something. But let's see if we can't take that side off. And now let's see if this cover will come off. No. Is there anything else that's holding this? Looks like we've got a kind of a spring, well, I don't know what this is. That looks like, oh, I see what it is. This will need to come off. That's one of those little clips that prevent that little wheel spool from going through. So let's try this. Let's push on this side. We'll push it down like this. It's like it's one of those permanent clips, and it's going to go flying off of here if I'm able to clip it off. Let's see. I might need to get a pick and go underneath the little lip here. Let's see. Maybe not. Let me see if I can't do it this way. Nope. Yeah, I'm going to need to get a pick there. All right, well, we'll do that in the next shot. But what do we want to do now? Let's go ahead and take off this electrical tape. So I've got you guys on video. I've got record of it. And it looks like this wire comes around like this, and then it's plugged in here. So I'm going to take my X-Acto and one of my drywall knife, I guess. I got a habit of calling things what pop in my head. I don't know if about you guys, but whatever. There's so many things out there. Let's see. All right, so we got the tape off. Put that over there. And I'm scared of taking this off because what I think it is, it's if it's like the window regulator and motor, it's an electric motor here with a shaft with a gear, a helical gear on it, and then on this spool should have some teeth going around it, and when this turns this way, it kind of, you know, causes this to go up or down or in or out, retract. But as you see, if I grab this little mouse, it won't move. And I can feel the cable is snagged down here. Here's that little pressure switch thing that we have to take that one little screw off of the bracket. Looks like this connector here that's taped along the side of the cable tubing goes to that directly, and then these 4 wires here go to the electric motor. The electric motor itself, it's just like the window motor. It has 2 Torx, looks like T20s, maybe T25 screws here and here, and it looks like there might be a little gasket underneath there. But I want to get this cover off first, and we'll see. So I need to get something. I'll get my pick, and I'll take this little anti-prevention removal device clip off, and it's malleable, so we'll be able to put it back on. But I want to get this part off because I can see there's a crack around the housing. So with those screws off and that off, we should be able to take this off. And of course, it'll come apart like a fishing line spool. So stand by real quick, and I'm going to grab my pick and take that off, and I'll get right back with you. I'm not using a pick. I tried to use the pick. It almost works, and this is an old cheapo Harbor Freight one. But if you get down in here, you can almost get it. So what you need to do is take your pick and get it up underneath the lip of one side. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that, but where my pick is going underneath there. And once you do that, then it'll be bent just a little bit. Grab your pliers and get up underneath it kind of like this and push. I'm pushing that way and kind of lifting at the same time. And there we go. Nice little clip there. And we'll be able to reuse that, so that's good. We'll put that in our little container box here. Now, is there anything on here? No seal, no nothing like that. So I'm gonna very gently pry right here. Let's see if there's a better place. I need to very gently get up underneath that, and I don't think it's sealed. Let me see. Yeah, that should just, let's just come right off. I see, is there anything else that's holding that on? Nothing on the back. You know what? Let's take this bracket off so we can see behind there. I probably should have done that first. So let me get my tools sorted out of the way here. Yeah, those little things there, I remember seeing them on something else, but yeah, that's a good little thing. So let me grab my ratchet and stand by.
I'll be right back with you.
We're back. It is a 10mm socket, and they are on there much tighter than what I'm showing you here. I just broke them loose off camera. So we'll go ahead and take these nuts off of the back of the bracket. And luckily it's on video, so I'll be able to come back and see which way this is facing. So it looks like it's towards this way and the little nubs are down. Sit that right there. We'll go ahead and put the nuts with it. Ooh, looky here, we have some screws here. Should I attempt? No, that looks like that's some sort of a sensor that these wires go to behind here. Maybe that's to tell it how far down it is. What do you guys think? You think, oh, look at this. Here's the little crank thing. Let's see what that does. Does that do anything? Is that a... Looks like that's just a... I don't know what that is. It's a Phillips style thing. That is not the... Oh, you know what that is? That's the end of the motor. So, learning with me, guys. I haven't seen this on video, so we're gonna see what's going on. Let's try. I can't pull the cable itself. I don't want to take those two screws out. We've got a big screw here. This is a big old Phillips. Let's see, maybe if I go back around this again with the razor blade, there's some sort of a seal in there. Or maybe there's little, I don't know, nubs, if you will. Oh, there is. Look at that. There we go. Okay, so you do have two screws here, but it looks like these clip in. Yeah. So what do we do there? Do we drill those out and then use a screw when we put it back together? Or do we snip them off? Or what do you guys recommend? Let's try to just push them out. I am going to use a big Phillips and try to just do this right on the end of it. No, that's not going to work. Is a flat blade going to do any better? No. Maybe. I don't want to break that, because if I drill it out, I'll be able to use a screw. And maybe a tiny little nut. But I see how they're kind of in there. And if I use this razor blade, I can almost turn it. Let's see. I don't want to maul that all up. And I definitely don't want to break it or hit my hand. And I can't get this in between there. My pick isn't going to do any good. Oh, I don't want to stab my hand. All right, so you see what I'm seeing? These little kind of lock tab cylindrical things go through the hole, and then looks like here, this one just pushes through. We might have a gasket here or something. Let's see. Does it come off? It wants to lift right up off of there, but what's holding it is this. So maybe, I wish there was a little prong back here to pry up on. Maybe if we get in between there. Oh, did you hear that? I just heard something pop. Let's see. It sounded like it snapped back together or something. Let's see. We'll get in here, and we'll get right here. And I'm just using this razor blade because it's thin enough to get in there. And and it wants to help lift it up. Let's see on this side. No joy, and nothing on there. All right, let me revisit this. I'll come back when I figure out how we're gonna do this. I may just get my drill bit over there and drill these two tabs out. We've got two, one here and one you can't really see. So let me do that, and then we'll have this off, and then I'll go ahead and I'll grab my, I think it's a T20. I'll grab my little tool over there to take that off. And it doesn't look like this clip comes off. No. Oh man, don't let me break this. I do not want to break this. It's an expensive part. There's a part number on here and it says Bosch. All right, stand by. I'll grab a couple of tools and come back with you on how we get that. All right, hang on. All right, so here's how you get it apart. You take out the two screws. This is this cover. What you're going to want to do is take your screwdriver or probably your razor blade or pick, and you want to lift it up about right here. You'll get it up, and then you'll just start fishing your pick along like this. And once you get to about right there, that tab is just going to pop right out. Then take your screwdriver and just kind of work it around like this, flat. And as you get on this side, you'll be able to get right in here. There's a little gap between the motor and the facial plate. And once you pop there, it just pops. There you go. So, and this will come off just like that. There are two nubs are good. And then the one that's been drilled in has got the, actually the screw just goes through there. So remember, that goes that way. It's got the little area up here to grab it. We'll set that right there. Now we've got the spool container. Should we pull this directly out? Yeah, there we go. There's our cable. Look at that. All right. So, whoops. There's our little washer that goes there. And now we've got our spool and our cable, and that's probably clamped down in there somewhere. Let's see here, if I push this, yep, sure enough, look at that. There goes my little mouse. So it was jammed in here, or kinked somehow. And this is just basically like a clothesline. It's metal, you know, it's metal fibrous, but I bet you if we find a clothesline, that would work. I mean, it's just that's pretty much all it is, folks. Look at that. It's probably got some numbers on here somewhere, but it's not pliable much. It looks like it's just set right here, so I'm just going to take this out of the way, and then we'll look at the motor itself. So I'll just set this, hopefully it doesn't fling all over the place. I'll just set that like that. Now we're down to the motor, and ooh, this is cruddy and grimy. Let's see, can we lift this up? Looks like there's a sleeve here going around the shaft. So let me clean that. Is that a cotter key in there? No. Let's see here. Does that come off? I don't want to maul that. Let's see, I don't see any other way to get that off other than those two screws maybe. Well, is this a seal or a gasket? No, that's the housing. And this looks like it's the housing. Boy, that's just dirty. None of this comes off. Boy, that grease is, oh, look at that. Oh man, that's part of our problem right there. That's about what the inside, ooh, look at this. So can I get underneath this little sleeve with my screwdriver? No. Is there any tab or locking? No, that doesn't come off. And all I'm doing is pressing that down. Okay, so let's do this. Let's grab our what is it? T20, I think it is. Oh, that's way too big. And this one, did I grab the wrong ones? Nope, there we go. All right, so I'm going to take off the motor now. So very gently, because I'm sure this is probably spring loaded. I'm going to do about 3 turns on here. And I'm going to go over here and I'm going to take about 3 turns on this one. One, well, not full turns, you know what I mean. Just twist of the wrist. 1, 2, I think I got more than 2 that time. Let's see. So if I pull this out, that might be it. It's moving. Let's see here. So I think what happens is that switch up there on the channel tells the motor when to turn off and when to turn on. Now, I would have thought there would have been a switch at the front that would tell it, and there probably is. Let's set our screw for the motor here. Get my gooey pick out of the way. Look at that grease, folks. I mean, it's, ugh. Man, I don't know, the baby diaper. Let's pull this one off just a little bit more. And we do have the wires going in here from this harness. So we're not going to be able to take this all the way off, I don't think. And I'm really not sure how this plug works. And I definitely, like I said, we're not here to break things. All right, there's this comes off. So there's our other screw for the electric motor. Let's pull this. Ooh, look at that. There is our shaft. Oh, is it going to come? Oh, it almost comes out of there. And there is a gasket here. And it looks like the motor, oh, you know, man, it's not going to come out, is it? Nope. What's going on is this wire is too taut. I'm going to push it over just a little bit more. And I'm going to pull. There we go. All right. So I didn't break the wires. Let's see here. Does this... Oh, wow. That's all a sealed unit in there. So there's no way to change the brushes. I can see the brushes. They're right here on both sides here. No way to change the brushes unless whatever these are back here. These little plugs. I don't know what those are. They're just plastic plugs. I don't want to pop those off because it looks like we just got a gummed up. Does this come off now? No. It seems like this sleeve needs to come off of there. Oh my gosh, there is so much grease in here. It is just nasty. I don't know if you guys, there's not enough light for you guys, but let me figure out what we're going to do here. I might need to put some penetrating fluid right there. And then because this actually is right here and it doesn't spin. The only thing that spins is this, and I can hear it. There's like a little, I don't know, kind of like a lawnmower. There's like a pickup right here. So that's a dilemma because we'll have to figure out what that does. Because if this is, well, no, that wouldn't matter, right? Because this has these little prongs on it, so you could put that anywhere. Make sure I don't lose my little washer there. And they just sit on there. It's almost like a weed eater. I don't know if anybody's ever taken off a weed eater, or you know, the spool. It's almost like that. I keep moving this here. Now there is something right there. Can y'all see right here? Let me get the pick. Actually, let me get that screwdriver. This is, oh, I see what it is. The end of the cables broke off. Look at that. The cables broke. That's our problem. Our cable broke right there. Look. Really? You got to be kidding me, Smalls. And look at there, it's got the little, the brass sheathing. I'll be darned. This is going to be one of the easiest, if I can find some clothesline. That's all that is. That's literally all that is. It's just bonded wire. It's plastic sheathed woven wire. So if we figure out how long that whole thing is, and then go all the way down to our little mouse, we will lube this up and put it back together. I'm not even going to bother taking that off. I got some electric contact cleaner over there. I'll get all that grease out of there, pack some more down in, put this back together. I think we're going to be set. I believe so. I'm not going to worry about the brushes. You know, 37 years, they, let's see, can I see the end of them? I see the hole in the spring, and then if you guys can see right there where my finger is, I'm not sure if you can, but there is the brush. And then there's the electric coiled housing, and it is smooth down in there. This does not come out. No. I'm not going to mess with this harness. I think that's what we're going to do. Yeah, that's all that is. A broken cable. Well, all right. So now you get to go on the wild goose chase with me to try to figure out where to get this diameter of wire. And it goes through the housing, the wire housing here, the sheath here, this plastic thing that's set down in there. And then it just wraps around in there somehow, I'm sure. Let's see, here's a little, this is just a little rubber thing that sits on there. So I'll take that off. There's no markings where it needs to go. Oh, look at that. There's a piece of the wire is hung in there. See this? There we go. It looks like these 4 screws, and then we put the, oh, I see where it is. It's underneath this right here. You can barely see where the wire cable goes in there, but it's like a little notch that goes in there. So I think this whole plastic thing kind of crimps it down on the metal here. So let's confirm. Let me move this whole stuff out of the way. I'm dealing with sticky fingers. All right, and we still have our correct sized Phillips. Make sure we don't strip these out, definitely. But ever so gently whenever you're using a Phillips. And you know, if you use one of these, I don't know if you guys can see that, but if you use one of these random bit screwdriver sets, you can get those on Amazon or whatever. I think I got that like 20 years ago or somewhere. You can get the correct size bit. I think I talked about that earlier whenever we were doing the rear tail light bulbs, taking the lenses off. And a lot of the Phillips screws, they're not really a Phillips screw. It's the British version, and it's got less meat. So if you use just a regular old Phillips screwdriver on one of these British cross-tip screws, you're likely going to strip the damn thing out and have to get a drill and a tap and no, I don't like easy outs. They always tend to break on me somewhere where it's critical. All right, here we go. So I've taken out the 4 screws. I'm going to lift this off, and there is just that. And here's our little brass housing on our coated wire, and that's all that is. It just sits right in there, and then spools around in there, and goes up or down. Now it doesn't have to go far. It's only got to go about, I don't know, 1.5 feet or something. Now the dilemma, since we've got that figured out, let's put that over here, and we'll get our tools sorted. Now, oh man, let me put these screws, these 4 4 screws. I'm going to set them right in these little divots there. All right, so let's come over here. The dilemma now is to get, it's not even a dilemma. Never mind. All right, this whole thing just basically comes apart when you get the cable out. Here's the connector right here, and the little mouse just falls right out of the channel. So your channel just goes over there. We'll leave that up with some graphite or something. And then here's our wire that goes down in here. There's nothing else to it at all. There's a little spring here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that is where this thing is supposed to go down there and lock. And then stock in the owner's manual for the Jaguar XJS, it says there's a little adapter that comes with the car. My car didn't come with it, but it's this. So if these retractable seat belts ever break, you can take that little adapter thing and then clip it right down in here. And then this spring-loaded mechanism holds it in there. And then you got a shoulder harness until you're able to repair this. So look at that. We are going to be able to take, how does that come out of there? You can see it's just coiled wire. That's all it is. There's a crimp on the end that just holds this whole thing there. And then this seatbelt thing is just that real, you'll know it if you felt it. It's that, it's aluminum, but it's cast. I can feel it. It's not like this. It's not like metal. It's cast aluminum. Wow. You're putting your life on the line for that. All right, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to replace this cable. We're going to clean up the motor and the gears. We're going to contact clean everything, let it dry. We're going to put some new grease in there. Not a lot, just enough. And then we're going to put this back in and put it all back together and call it good. And then what we'll do on the other side, on the driver's side, we'll do the exact same thing just to see if there's any issues with the motor, but we're definitely going to clean it like I did the window motors. But there you go, folks. So you've learned with me. The most critical thing, I guess, on taking this apart so far, I mean, what we've both gone through, is getting this little cover clip off of there, okay? And I showed you how to do that. So there's that. And then the other thing is be really gentle when you're popping these out. You can see the little line on the little shaft that would go down into the holes on the other part of the housing, and you definitely don't want to break those. If you do have to drill those out, it's not bad because they left you a little hole here, and so you'll be able to go back in there with just like the other two areas. You can put a sheet metal screw in there, or beveled screw like these, plastic screw, self-tapping. Doesn't look like it has a point. It's just those flat tip ones. And put those in there, and that'll hold that housing on as well as your clip, and you should be good. That's just how I would approach it. Now, I'm going to go do some research on the diameter of this fishing line. This line. I'm going to figure out. There's no way to really splice this. You can see it just broke off in my fingers anyway. It's so old. So there's those two little wire pieces. I'm going to go research how we can make this to our liking. Looks like we might be an issue here getting this off because that's mounted on there. So we might need to take a Dremel or something and get this little sleeve. And then obviously measure everything because we need the gap and then this here for the switch to work right. There's our little plunger. So that's all there is to it. Now take a look at the back. Sorry about the, this side actually had that RTV the guy used. to glue this back up in there. So this would sit in the car like that, and then you've got your inner weather stripping here, this for your window, your scraper, I guess it is. And then the couple of screw holes here, here, and here that hold that to the frame of the car. And I don't see any other, oops. Yeah, there's nothing else in here. There's no other switches that tell it, you know, when it's all the way down. I would have figured there would have been something over on this side telling the car that these have been all the way out. But again, I think what's going on is the length of this cable is critical for where it's mounted on the spool as well as here. And then it's got that little, if you turn this wheel, you can almost hear it. You hear that? It goes right to about right there, and then it goes, so it's like a little clicker in there. I'm going to still see if I can't get that sleeve off camera. I'll take this off. There's nothing to it. It looks like it's just hollow here. This worm drive goes right there and then drives the gears. The gears all look good. They're not, at least on the top anyway. That's one of the reasons I want to take that off, so I can look a little bit further down in there, because, you know, obviously we put it back together and then it just spins and strips. It's a lot of stuff to take off. All right, let's save our little washer. Again with the washer. All right, there we go. I'm gonna go clean my hands. You've learned with me. There we go. I will do what I said I'm gonna do and then figure out something with this cable. And then I'll come back with you later on, maybe at a later time, and show you how I put the passenger side back together. And luckily we're on video together, so we've seen how to take it apart, and it didn't damage anything in the process, so I'm kind of surprised myself. Hopefully we can do the same thing on the driver's side, and obviously that one's just going to need to be lubed up. Hopefully we don't have any kinks in the cable. Look at that. That thing just got, oh man. Yeah, I can break it with my fingers, man. That thing just got gummed up in there, and you know, with no lube or any wax or anything like this over time, I mean, that's gotta not work. Is this gonna come all the way out? Yeah, this will just come right out of that sleeve, see? And that's all it is. This little, there's your retractable seatbelt, folks. It's the Zeppo Model 440. Or what is it, Zepco? Fish and Wine. All right, thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, if you like the ones before, please subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up as always, and I gotta go wash my hands. We'll talk to you soon.